Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 1 and we will presenting the financial statement analysis for Harta Lega Holding Berhad. Before we explain the financial statement analysis for Harta Lega, we will explain the background of the company. Kwan Kam Hon is the founder of the Harta Lega, where he found Harta Lega in 1988. He is now in position of an executive chairman. The founder of Harta Lega is an entrepreneur who built his fortune as a builder of house. Harta Lega is the world's largest manufacturing of synthetic glove and been primarily used in the healthcare industry. As we know, the company is one of the original equipment manufacturing high-quality surgical and laboratory glove, where this company also known as the world's largest producer of latex glove with a growing capacity to produce billions of gloves each year. Furthermore, Harta Lega is able to reach their annual production capacity until 13 billion gloves, where it is near to 30% export by Malaysia in 2013. This proves that Harta Lega has been awarded as the industry fastest production line, where the company is being able to produce over 45,000 gloves per hour. In 2019, Harta Lega was awarded with the award of the HBRC highest growth in profit over 3 years, as the company be able to produce more than 13 billion to meet the profit every year. Harta Lega also export their product to outside Malaysia, where it export more than 40 countries all around the world, such as United States, Europe, and including Asia. In addition, the company of Harta Lega also is able to generate half of the company revenue in United States, as the sale at the United States is increasing there. This proves that Harta Lega was growth rapidly and achieve high revenue every year based on the performance on the proper manage in the production. The well performance shown by the Harta Lega also been awarded by the award of the HBRC highest return on equity over 3 years in 2019.
Assalamualaikum, I am Amira binti Ibrahim, so I will continue on presenting liquidity ratio. Liquidity ratio, as believed by Bro and others, it is assets capability to be converted into a cash. There are three kinds of ratio, which are current ratio, quick ratio, and cash ratio. Current ratio is understood to assess the organization's capacity in repaying the short-term debts by using the current assets. The amount is calculated based on current asset divided with current liabilities. In 2020, Harta Lega obtained 2.67 times. Meanwhile, in 2019, it obtains 2.18 times. The firm managed to increase its current ratio from 2 ringgit and 18 cents to 2 ringgit and 67 cents in current assets for every 1 ringgit current liabilities. The higher current ratio is more favorable compared to lower current ratio, because it shows that the organization are capable to repay its short-term debts. Next, we move on to the quick ratio. Quick ratio is the capacity of the firm to pay off its short-term debts by using assets that can be converted into cash immediately. The amount is calculated based on current asset deduct with prepayment and the inventory, and further is divided with current liabilities. For quick ratio, Harta Lega obtained 1.92 times for year 2020. Meanwhile, in 2019, it gained 1.42 times. The firm had succeeded to increase its quick ratio from 1 ringgit 42 cents to 1 ringgit and 92 cents in quick assets for every 1 ringgit in current liabilities. Warren 2014 mentioned that the better the quick ratio, the more the likelihood the company will be able to settle its short-term debt instruments. Lastly, cash ratio is to assess most liquid short-term liquid assets such as cash and cash equivalents, which seem to be the simplest and quickest to repay the current debt. The amount is calculated based on the formula of cash divided with current liabilities. For 2020, Harta Lega gained 0.75 times for its cash ratio, and in year 2019, it obtained 0.37 times. The firm managed to increase its cash ratio from 37 cents to 75 cents in its cash and cash equivalents for every 1 ringgit in current liabilities. The ratio is more favorable when it achieves a greater value. The cash ratio that is greater than 1 indicates that corporation has ability to pay down its debt while still having cash on hand. Moreover, the organization is suggested to decrease its overhead costs in order for the liquidity ratio to be in a favorable state. Overhead is a term for recurring business expenses that are indirectly related to the manufacture of the product or services. Examples of overhead expenses consist of utilities, rent, and license. The management of the organization can identify truly the indirect expenses and may differentiate which overhead expenses are required the most in the operation and rank according to the priorities. Hence, the least important overhead costs might be minimized through using the utilities efficiently or outsourcing. For instance, another rubber glove manufacturer in Malaysia, Kosan Rubber Industri Berhad, was expected to keep a close eye on overhead costs and take various actions to decrease the cost in order to improve the profitability while also actively pursuing the overseas market. To summarize, reducing the overhead costs could make the organization liquidity ratio, especially the cash ratio, to escalate.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Hidayatul Eminadia and now I will be presenting on the efficiency analysis or known as activity analysis. Efficiency analysis can be used to measure how efficiently the firm utilizes its assets. There are 5 elements under this analysis, such as firstly, inventory turnover. Inventory turnover used to evaluate how efficient a company uses its inventory to generate sales, and the formula is divide the cost of goods sold over the inventory. In Harta Lega Holdings Berhad, the inventory turnover in 2020 is higher than in 2019, with 7.97 times and 7.69 times respectively. A higher ratio is more favorable than the lower ratio because there are more demands on the goods, and it's proof that the company have an efficient inventory control. In brief, this indicates that the company generate greater revenues in 2020 because the company can replace its inventory 7.97 times per annum. Secondly, average collection period is used to assess the effectiveness of the credit operation by computing the average time it takes for the customer to pay their debts. The formula is account receivable over sales and time with 365. A company's account receivable is managing efficiently if the number of days taken by a company is shorter because it shows that the company has a proper credit control. For example, in 2020, it shows that the company took roughly 62 days to collect its debts compared to year 2019, 59 days. In this case, the shorter the collection period, the sooner the company turns over its receivable. Thus, the company is more efficient in 2019. Thirdly, the asset turnover ratio, or known as sales to sales ratio, assesses how effectively a company uses its total assets base. The formula is sales over total assets. The asset turnover ratio displays how much sales volume is created by each ringgit of the total assets, and it evaluates how hard the company's assets work. A higher ratio indicates that the more efficient the company is in utilizing its assets to generate sales and also raising its productivity. In the Harta Lega Holdings Berhad total asset turnover analysis, the company had a higher total asset turnover of 1.31 times in 2020 compared to 2019 with only 0.94 times. A higher ratio is more favorable as it could lead to the higher net income. Fourth, the idea of the receivable turnover ratio is that if clients pay on time, late invoice will be a small proportion of sales and receivable turnover will be high. The formula for receivable turnover is credit sales over with the account receivable. In 2020, the receivable turnover ratio for Harta Lega Holding Berhad was 5.82 times, and in 2019, it was 6.17 times. This indicates that the 2020 is less favorable because the company was inefficient in collecting its receivables compared to the previous year. Last but not least, fixed asset turnover measures how well a company uses its plant and equipment to operate its business. We took sales over with fixed assets to find the assets and the fixed asset turnover. In general, the higher the fixed asset ratio, the more effective the company utilizes its investment to generate sales. By referring to the Harta Lega Holdings per head fixed asset turnover ratios in 2019 and 2020 have a slightly different of 0.04 times. In 2019, it is 1.35 times, whereas the turnover in 2020 is only 1.31 times. In brief, the fixed asset turnover in 2019 is more favorable because for every 1 ringgit invested in fixed assets, a return of almost 1.35 cents is earned. In conclusion, there are 3 elements in efficiency analysis which prove that the efficiency of the company in 2019 is better than in 2020. However, the receivable turnover and fixed asset turnover in 2019 are slightly lower than in 2020. Thus, the company may formulate some strategies to improve its efficiency in 2020 by increasing its storage capacity. Since the ratios of the inventory turnover in 2020 is quite low, thus it's proof that the company was unable to meet the customer demand. Inventory deficiency could be evaded by having a high storage capacity and subsequently leads to the sustainable customer service relationship. The second one, by referring to the long period of the average collection period in 2020, the company should also consider offering a cash discount to the borrowers in exchange for the early payment made by them and then its normal payment date, and such method intends to motivate the borrowers to pay their debts within a specific time frame with the discount promoted. That's all from me.
For the next financial statement analysis is leverage ratio. This ratio used to analyze the debt and risk of the company to extent in which the company used its debt to finance its investment. In this situation, the greater the debt, the greater the risk of the company. Generally, it will measure the level of debt or borrowing of the company, which consists of 3 elements, which are debt ratio, debt to equity ratio, and time interest earned ratio. The purpose of the leverage ratio is to provide the support and backup to risk-based capital needs. It should reduce the effect of risk-weight compression during recession to offset the accumulation of the risk. Besides that, the leverage ratio includes the technique for determining how much debt a company is using to fund its investment and can be used to assess the company's ability to meet its interest payment obligation as well as the finance risk associated with the financing use. So we will look at the first element of leverage ratio, which is debt ratio. Debt ratio calculates the percentage of total fund provided by creditors rather than the fund provided by owners' capitals. The amount calculated based on the total debt divided by the total asset and multiple with 100%. The debt ratio of Harta Lega for the consecutive year from 2019 to 2020 is decreasing per year. The debt ratio for the year of 2019 was 24.49%, where it was decreased to 23.26% in 2020. The record shows that the high level of leverage on the debt ratio for the year 2019 compared to the year 2020. This company have high level of weakness in settling long-term obligation in 2019. For the second element in leverage ratio is debt to equity ratio, where it is considered the relative proportion of equity and debt used to finance the company asset. The amount calculated based on the total debt divided by the total equity and will be multiplied with 100%. The company in 2019 is 32.44%, where it is decreased in 2020, which is 30.31%. In 2019, Harta Lega is taking 32.44% of debt as a mean of leverage its asset compared to the year of 2020, which is 30.31%. This shows this company, Harta Lega, has better performance in 2020 because the company have been less aggressive in finance its growth with debt. The declining situation illustrated by Harta Lega may achieve stability in the business because when the ratio is higher, it shows that the company used its loan finance to pay the debt. So we will look at the last element of leverage ratio, which is time interest earned ratio. It is to measure the company ability to meet the interest payment, where the amount calculated based on EBIT, which is earning before interest, and divided by interest expenses. Harta lega can be seen in 2019, where it is 51.47 times compared to 51.87 times in 2020. The capacity for Harta lega in the year of 2019 to serve additional interest is slightly different with 51.47 times only. Meanwhile, in 2020, the interest is 51.87 times, where it increased 0.04 in a year. Harta lega gain income 51.87 times greater than its annual interest payment. Thus, in 2020, the company can pay interest payment better than in the year of 2019. From the analysis of financial statement of Harta lega, we can suggest for Harta lega to increase the revenue of the company. The increased sale revenue and profit are the most natural way for the company to minimize its debt to capital ratio. This can be accomplished by increasing the price, sale increase, or cost reduction. Therefore, the additional fund will help to pay down the existing debt if it been utilized. Another alternative to suggest for Harta lega is to lower the debt to capital ratio by restructure the debt of the company. The company interest rate on its loan are relatively high and current interest rate are much lower. The company can refine its previous debt. This will lower interest costs and monthly payment, which will increase the line profitability of the company and cash flow while increasing its cash reserve. To be conclude the financial statement analysis from the aspect of leverage ratio, the financial analysis between the year of 2019 and 2020, Harta lega has a good performance in the year of 2020 for the relative level of debt that incurred compared to the year of 2019, which is portray the higher debt for the company.
Assalamualaikum, I bid to Safadirul. My name is Nur Khairunisa binti Roslan and I will continue presenting profitability ratio. So basically, profitability ratio is measured in order to identify the financial health of the company. In order to calculate the profitability ratio, there have 5 elements that needs to be analyzed. The first one is gross profit margin. The second one is operating profit margin. The third one is net profit margin, and the fourth one is return on asset, and the last one is return on shareholder equity. First element is gross profit margin. Gross profit margin describes the amount of profit made by the organization from producing its product and services. This ratio can be calculated based on gross profit divided by sales and times with 100. After being calculated of the gross profit, this statement can be looked through the year 2019, where Harta lega has 25.05% profit, while on 2020, it increased to 25.36% for every 1 ringgit of the sale made by the company. So this statement indicates that the higher the percentage made, the greater the excess of profit that they can cover up in their operation. For this ratio, it is more favorable to have higher amounts since this indicates how the organization generate their income based on their production. Next calculation is operating profit margin. So this is to measure the productivity of the asset in the organization in giving out returns for their creditors and stakeholders. So this ratio can be calculated based on operating profit divided by sales and times with 100%. Calculating the operating profit margin, the analysis can be made by the year 2019, where Harta lega have gained 19.86%, while for the year 2020 has been decreased to 19.36%. So this statement means that for the year 2020, the organization are not efficiently in converting their revenue from the sales into a profit, as there is a decreasing amount from 2019 to 2020. This ratio is favorable if the amount calculated is higher compared to the previous year, as this shows that the productivity of the organization in controlling their asset and how they can gain trust from their potential investor. One is net profit margin. So net profit margin is where the ratio is calculated is to identify how the organization managed to convert the sales to become their net profit. So this statement can be calculated based on the net profit divided by sales and times with 100. This statement can be checked upon the calculation made using the formula, as we can see for the year 2019, which is 16.0%, and for the year 2020, which has been dropped to 14.85%. So this statement describes that for the year 2020, the organization are not capable to manage its costs, pricing policies, and other expenses occur, as there is decreasing amount from 2019. So this ratio is indicate that how the organization managed to convert their revenue become net profit. So we can see that how they cannot minimize their expenses in order to receive more profit. Hence, the favorable of this ratio should be increasing by year. Next is return on asset. So the function of this ratio is to identify how the organization are capable to utilize the firm asset in order to generate revenue. So the calculation can be made based on net income divided by total asset and multiply with 100 to become percent. Hence, after doing the calculation on the formula to identify the return on asset, this can be proved where we can see that for the year 2019 is 15.20%. However, for the year 2020, it have been decreased to 13.11%. So this statement means that the organization unable to utilize their resources and capital wisely, since they are decreasing number throughout the current year. So actually, the ratio function on how the organization capable to utilize their resources. So hence, they are likely to ensure that the ratio it should be increasing throughout the year. So the last one is return on equity. So this ratio is calculated to identify the efficiency of the organization, resources, and profitability of their organization investment. So this calculation can be made based on net income divided by shareholder equity and multiple with 100. So after doing the calculation, we can see that for the year 2019, which is amounted 20.14%, been decreased to 17.08% for the year 2020. So this statement shows that the organization are not efficiently utilize their resources in order to generate their earning for the year 2020. So in order to create trust for the potential investor, the organization must ensure that the ratio is increasing. So in order to sustain the profitability, the organization is suggest to check on supply chain on a regular basis, whether the organization can get raw material for less money but more efficiently, but also along with their responsibilities to keep a high level of quality at the same time. We conclude based on the profitability ratio, we can see that the organization performance is getting worse, as it indicates that their investment progress with the investor and how they manage its equity and debt during the year 2020 have been dropped compared to the previous one. So, in order to gain back the trust, they have to increase the profitability ratio. To be summed up, they have 5 conclusions that can be made based on the financial statement analysis. So the purpose of it is to enable the organization to create an overview about the future consequence. It also create awareness whether the organization have utilized their resources wisely and also be alert with their potential investor requirement. So, this also function to emphasize whether the organization current liability is met with the debt obligation. And finally, it give an idea to financial analysts to give an advice whether to join or to create the trust for the potential investor to join with your organization. Based on further research, there are some recommendations that need to be taken by the organization in order to ensure that an effective financial statement analysis can be provided in order to show that the good image of the organization. So which is the organization need to examine the characteristic of the company product or services, including its profit margin, brand loyalty, and cost control. And also factors including supply chain integration, geographic diversification, and sector diversification should also be taken into account. That's all from us. Thank you.